All right. Who do I got? Daniel. All right. Sorry about that, Daniel. We got some, it's rainy weather. We're trying to get some stuff, some tech ready, but looks like we maybe started maybe. So I plugged an extender in, and hopefully this will work. And when I get Chardonnay back, I'll open this thing. But I got a bunch of stuff on the docket today, so hopefully we get to do that. Billy Shoemate, appreciate you coming back. Didn't even expect that, but I appreciate that. I'm gonna go get this other stuff off the stand here and open some of this stuff first. Got a bunch of boxes here. The most interesting of which, I really like Woodchucker to be here because I kind of wanted, but I never got a chance to talk to him about this purchase, privately. He was kind of busy. He does a lot of live streams, and actually much more busy than me, I think, but I was pretty busy too. And this thing right here, I got to back it up. This is I don't even remember this. What its model number is irrelevant. Ruiz, I take anything I can. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth, man, ever. This is kind of a cool episode because we're going to be unboxing a bunch of stuff I got, which I think is kind of interesting. And luckily I get a chance to talk about it on here. I'd probably bother my family if I didn't do a live stream. So opening up this stuff is going to be fun, which I'm doing right now. This is Holzfforma, basically a fake Husqvarna that has, shall we say, borrowed the intellectual property of Husqvarna and made dupe saws, basically, is what these are. Duplicate, what we used to refer to lovingly as knockoffs. So let's take this thing out. Although it came with this little pouch. Got other stuff to open, but I don't want to open it up without the people who sent it here. So this is something I got. This is a pouch with some tools in it. Looks like the stuff you need, like for tensioning, and some Allen wrenches, some different size Allen wrenches, and a little screwdriver. And then this is to take off your bolts for your to put on your bar and chain and so forth. This looks like a, that's cool. I didn't know it came with that. It's a little fuel oil mixture canister. So you put your, fill that up to there. 25 to 1, huh? 50. Oh, we want to do 50 to 1. I think that's what this is. I need to read the book though. Pretty sure this is a 50 to 1 machine here. It's a dupe though. So this is like a really big saw. You can't get a saw this size, like brand name, with this kind of power necessarily. You can kind of get an idea of the massive size of it right there. Here's the book. Man, it doesn't look bad. If I'm going by looks right now and the packaging, it certainly doesn't look too bad. You go to a Lowe's and you go to the section where you buy saws, and you get about 1/3 the saw for this amount of money at Lowe's. So Holzfforma, basically a dupe company or intellectual property. I don't want to get sued by them either, so I'm not going to say they took the intellectual property, but it seems very similar and is interchangeable with parts. Does it smell like it has gasoline in it? It actually smells like it's fueled up, which is really weird. I didn't know they sent these things with gas. Of course, we're building a bunk bed here on Dad's workshop, but we always stop to do fun stuff. Let me check in with the chat. So we got, it says Holzfforma. It's a large body saw here. This is, I was trying to get enough saw that if I'm lucky enough that this thing works right, I can mill lumber with it. And I can put a pretty big bar on this. And if it works, I'll get another one and have a backup. You know, I'm counting a lot of chickens. Now, if you are really, really sneaky, you could take a Husqvarna tag and fit it on this spot right here so that this saw would look completely like it. Other tag would go right here. They sell them. But I'm not interested in doing that because it's not a Husqvarna, but that is clever that they do that. And definitely if you switched out all the parts, there was one person on Reddit that said they found really high quality parts in this thing. And I'm not surprised by that because I've bought dupes of other things where I looked at the components and the specs and found that the specs of this Chinese made piece was better than, you know, what it was supposedly made in, you know, Sweden or whatever, like Husqvarna. Yeah. Yeah, I have heard that people have used this. There's been a few of them. I think there's some lemons in the bunch, just like anything. But this is basically the dupe of the 395 XP Husqvarna chainsaw. And I wanted this for two reasons. I wanted it for cross cutting because we're always dealing with trees and my other saw died. So I needed a replacement. I wanted to get this saw for a minute to give it a shot. I feel like it's almost worth the gamble of the 315 bucks that it cost, which is what this saw cost. I don't think you get quite an idea of the size of this saw by watching the live though. And they leave these nuts here a little loose on this side. I mean, the construction, if I'm looking at the bottom, looks solid too. The sprocket, it's all going to depend on how it, I'm going to read the book on how it fires up. Feels like it actually has bar and chain oil in it already as well. Guess that lock doesn't work until I pull something out. Yeah, there's a piece of plastic down there I have to pull out, but I want to read the book first. Basically, 395 XP, 93 cc's. So not your neighbor's chainsaw in the suburbs for sure. Definitely as close to a commercial size chainsaw as you can get, and it still be a hairy homeowner saw, you know. I've got a big bar and chain for it, but I didn't really. Let me take a look at what's in the other boxes. And not the one Chardonnay. My bit set just went down. Believe that this is associated with that. I think this is probably a bar and chain. I'm expecting another one, which is a chisel chain. And I'm sure if I had Caleb in here right now, he could talk a little bit about the difference between like a standard cross-cutting chain and a chisel chain. But most chainsaws are meant for cross-cutting only, or the saws are too, and probably that includes this one. So I went ahead and got the fitting off-brand bar, largest bar I've ever owned. I've never had a saw of this size before. Get an idea of the bar size here. Doesn't even fit on the live stream. Holzfforma better pay me for this because I don't put brand names on here. Oh yeah, this is a real saw right here. I mean, if it works, it's a lot of saw. A lot of saw. Like I don't even think there's enough space on the live. It just keeps going. That's a huge bar, man. So I gotta read what came with this. I think what I got, the Holzfforma bar I got, maybe was the full chisel chain. This may be the crosscut. I gotta look at my Amazon thing. I had to get one crosscut bar and chain, and then I needed one that was meant for chisel, like what you see people carve with and rip. It was a chain that I wanted to hit me in the hand really. Yeah, man, I am pretty appreciative of y'all, and I'm so appreciative that I don't want to open up what other people got for me until they get here. So hopefully they come. Must be that Chardonnay's caught up with something. Yeah, man, this is a piano cutting in half type. So this is what John Cage cut that piano in half with, I think. Like that type of style. 93 cc's. I was looking at the 70 some cc's. I don't know. On the 93. Give me the 93 cc. You gotta have as much. You have to have as much saw as you can. Full chisel. This is the milling saw and the milling setup. So you see it says full chisel. And don't ask me what full and half chisel is right now. I got to look it up again, but I can tell you full chisel is a rip cutting saw blade. So I purposely got the setup here. This is a mill setup right here. With the saw, with the bar and chain here. This, I need a rip cutting bar, and I think I ordered that if I'm correct. So I should have another bar and another chain coming meant for cross cutting. This is meant for, you know, carving. I'm not going to carve with a 36-inch bar though. And rip cutting so that you can go through logs. As I said, normally when you go to a Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a chain and a bar, it's meant for cross cutting. This is meant for rip cutting. Yeah. So I'm psyched, man. I am super. I don't know why this is open, but I'm psyched about this. Probably not going to be anything I could really show you on this chain here. Besides that, there are less drive lengths, right? And the angle of the, I forget how you're supposed to undo these things. There we go. It's been so long since I've really played with a chainsaw too, man. How do you get these chains out? Is this trick to like getting these little knots out of here? It's the wrong way. All right, let me lay it out on the table so I don't do this the wrong way. Seems like the bar seems heavy duty, but when you're talking about a tremendous amount of heat that it's going to take when the thing starts milling, I am a little concerned about the sturdiness of that bar. This feels like I'm doing something that's gonna like this, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Anyway, long chain, and forgot how to take these things and straighten them out because I haven't really played with chainsaws for a minute. If the tree didn't come down, I probably would have bought a chainsaw anyways, watching Caleb's live stream. But I needed a new chainsaw. Caleb, pop on my live stream. Tell me how to untangle these chains, man. Somebody say, thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. He says, full chisel is great for every kind of cutting. The angle of the teeth makes a difference between rip and cross cutting. Well, so then I got to check the angle of my teeth, right? This does look like a lot of teeth. So tell me, do I have the right? Let me tell you what the specs are. And I have this all written down somewhere, but so it's 114 drive lengths because that's what I wrote on my specs for what you want for. I had this all written down. 114 drive lengths, and it's 3/8 .063. So 3/8 is like the gauge, and .063 is the pitch, right? The angle at which the teeth sit. So if I got you still, Billy. If I got you here still, Billy, remind me what the rip cutting pitch would be typically, so that I know whether I'm sitting on my rip cutting blade or if I ended up getting two. Here it is. Like the pitch is 114 drive lengths. Gauge .063 and then 3/8. I guess that's the gap between, I don't know. I looked this all up the other day, man. I'm not a chainsaw expert. Love playing with them, but not an expert by any means. I have a 16-inch rip chain at my dad's house. Actually, I have a couple. I just didn't have the right saw for it. Let me open the other long box. Is my person in here that needs to see? Pelado, welcome, Pelado. "12 degrees on the tooth angle." "12 degrees on the tooth angle, cross-cutting 30 degrees. I got another bar here. I don't know if this is it. I'm going to open this box here, and we'll see what's in here. And I got to read these books and not lose this crap, even though I'm on a live stream and totally distracted by the fact I'm trying to show these things to people, which is awesome. But I want to make sure that I don't lose stuff and don't get distracted. Anyways, I'll leave the saw up for a minute, not trying to advertise their company for them free. Got this chain, 114 drive links, full chisel. So that's good information, Billy. Let me screenshot that, because when I look at this stuff, I want to make sure I'm looking at those specs right there. I like to pick brains and not be a knucklehead. So 12 degrees on the tooth angle. Yes, it's going to be fun regardless. As long as it starts up for me, has a spark and all that, which I'm going to check tomorrow because there's a limited amount of time. You can't return them, but they will exchange them. All right, so here's another bar. Hopefully I did this all right, man. I probably didn't, to be honest with you. This should fit the specs of that other machine that I just got. I don't know if I got a chain with this, though. Looks like just a bar. Japanese company, Samura 439 FV 4. It's a 24-inch bar. Gauge is 0.058, 3/8 pitch, 84 drive links is what I guess the specs are for the chain. I don't have a chain for it, though. It's just a bar right now. This bar should fit this saw as well. Now, what I did was I tried to get a bar. I tried to, Billy. I might have made some mistakes here. I tried to get a bar and chain fit for cross cutting and a bar and chain fit for rip cutting. But it's possible that I didn't do enough reading. I did a bunch of reading in the past about this and had myself all set up. This is the right saw. The bar is probably okay that I got over there. This is a shorter one here. But I may not have gotten the right chain. And I don't know if I have any more chains coming. But you let me know what you know, man, Billy. Yeah, I like this bar here. This is a 24-inch bar. There are saws like with multiple sprockets on them, and some that actually hold another saw head on the other side, which are super cool that the big timers use. But I don't know how, Billy, if you could add some input about how I find that. What did you say there a minute ago? What would you say that you said the 12 degrees on the tooth angle? How do we get it that way, Billy? Because I got to be able to rip cut with this thing, man. Like when I was reading back in the day, I remember it being about chisel and so forth. Is what they all were talking about when it came to like picking a rip cutting rig, like a rip cutting setup. I'm definitely using this saw tomorrow, dude. I'm not going to be super disappointed if it doesn't work. I'm just going to contact the company and hopefully, you know, they They replaced it. This is the other bar I got. I'm psyched about that, man. I'm super psyched about that. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Pilato said, "You got a bar and chain? Better than a ball and chain, I've been told." Shh. There you go, Pilato. Sorry, I didn't mean to scrub the microphone on the way down there. So I've been chewing gum. It may or may not have nicotine in it because I'm trying to get over my nicotine addiction. But what is it about gum, while we're talking about funny stuff? What is it about biting your mouth, besides the extreme pain? What is it about biting your mouth that turns you into like a toddler immediately as it happens? Like you bite your mouth, you're chewing your gum, you're having nah, and you bite like the side of your tongue and you go, and nobody in the room is going to not know you just bit your mouth, right? Then you're in there with a napkin. I just bit the side of my mouth. I'm never chewing gum again. Oh my God, what happened? And then 20 minutes later, you're chewing gum again, but the same spot. I think as humans, or maybe I should speak for myself, we just never learn. We just never learn. Glutton for punishment in general. Oh, I just bit my mouth so bad. That's what I'm talking about, that kind of thing. Like being around my 8-year-old reminds me of that. That's what I turn into, a 6 to 8-year-old, when I bite the side of my mouth, basically, is what I'm saying. I have not sharpened a chain since Boy Scouts, right? So a file would be what I would use. But I have grinder options here. I have a belt sander, and I have a grinder, bench grinder at my dad's place I could use. I don't have a bench grinder here. Probably Pelado. Thank you. Pelado says, I use an Oregon file. And Oregon is a lumberjack company. Good one too. Shout out Oregon. I used to have an Oregon bar that I loved a lot. Use an Oregon file. Is that a hand file? So what do I do then? With the grinder, I angle the I grind the teeth to 12 degrees. Is that what I do, Billy? Question for Billy is, do I grind the teeth on my full chisel chain, which I will do. I will sit here and individually. I got a new set of files over here. I mean, they're not great. They're not Oregon files, but hand file them down to 12 degrees. Do I need like a pair of reading glasses for that? Because they're really tiny. And then the other thing is, do I need to remove drive links and remove saw bits and add drive links to the chain? Because that's one thing I remember. Go to a saw shop and get a ripping chain. Because when I say ripping chain, a lot of stuff comes up. Let me tell you, let me pull out a sheet where I have some specs written down and see what you think about these pieces. I have some other ones I wrote down that I could buy, but they're kind of expensive. I'm a writer downer, even though I love technology, I write stuff down on paper and then stash it away. All right, so what I wanted to get, I said a Husqvarna 395 XP with a 36-inch bar. All right, fake Husqvarna 395 XP, 36-inch bar. Now, what I wrote down on here was, okay, so I can get a hyper skip ripping chain, I believe 0.404. Let me know. I'm going to write this down on something. You tell me if this works for this. Because they say, what I'm told is this is the right, I wrote this down a long time ago. I think this is kind of like the other measurement that works with this chain. Yeah, I got to go on Forrester's. On that lumber website, it's a Forrester ripping chain. That doesn't really say anything that I really would put on here. Okay, that's it. Yeah, Forester. This is what I've got written down. I can hand file them and get them to 12 degree. Okay, so that's I can order this chain, which is this matches. I know this is the right specs. I remember I had this in my cart a while back. So a Forester ripping saw chain, 3/8.063. That will fit this rig. So if this is not really the right thing, and I also, just to show you, that's what I had written down on paper. I also had one that is Forester 1 rivet professional chainsaw. That's the bar. And then I had this hyper skip ripping chain. Something told me there was something about that's a safer chain for like kickback and stuff. Like a hyper skip ripping chain has to do with like the number of saws, because you don't need as many teeth on ripping. So it's less, there's skips. This is what I was talking about a second ago. You guys can explain this better than I can. The hyper skip, I believe, removes some saw links from the equation so that you have more drive links, right? And less saw links. And therefore, when it kicks, or if you hit an imperfection, you have slightly less possibility of kickback, which is extraordinarily dangerous when you're talking about chainsawing anything. Objects in the tree can be really bad. So yeah, just wondering what y'all think about that Forester ripping saw chain 3/8.063, because I'm going to video this stuff. Whatever I do with this thing, trust and believe it will be videoed. I'm not a BS artist here. When I get something, I plan on using it, or it's going to be used at some point when I get to it. But this is high on my priority list to be able to mill my own lumber. Ruiz, stop shouting out teams, you know? Like, what are you doing, bro? Seriously. No, I'm just kidding. But nah, that's a different kind of Oregon, Ruiz. It's because you go to all those games. Shout out Oregon Ducks. Was that the game that you were at, the Oregon Ducks baseball game the other day? Did you fly to Oregon and attend a Ducks game when you should have been here on the live stream managing the chat? Showing up late all the time. Showing up late. Shouting out sports teams in the chat all the time. What am I going to do with you, Ruiz? What am I going to do? What am I going to do with you? No Chardonnay, so I can't take out what Chardonnay got us. You like to rip saw? So this is the Holzfforma whatever. I'm not going to say the model number. You can ask me the model number if you want in the chat. I'll put it in there. It's not really important. It's a dupe of the Husqvarna 395 XP 93cc chainsaw. This is what I got. Crossing my fingers, this bad boy works. I'm going to read the book first, guys. Then I'm going to get me that ripping chain. Then I'm going to actually take what we should do, like Heather said, solid live activity. Either I get an angle grinder or I take my my little files and I file those teeth to 12 degrees. Now, something tells me there's too many teeth on that chain. It seems like too many teeth for a rip saw and it'll get too hot. Because when you're cutting grain wise, you don't need all those teeth. All you need to do is break the grain open. And with the kerf of a chainsaw, it's going to split the wood anyway. Am I right? Oh, I know you're in Texas. I just thought you might fly out to Oregon for that game rather than, manage a chat, like do your job up in here. You know what I mean? It's pay on the back end, man. We're not coin operated around here. We'll get it. We all get paid. I don't get paid either. We all get paid, but it's your job right now, man. It's your job after your job. It died. I can also get it up here and pretend to do that too. That's even more fun. It's dead. Ran out of gas. Pelado, thank you for coming. I will actually be doing woodwork next time. Opening stuff today. Sorry about that. You know, I do a lot of boring woodwork here, so I got to try to have fun sometimes. Pelado, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. But we are getting to woodworking. I got to get that post back up here and work on that cross piece, the blind mortise. Yeah, coming off the dad weekend, doing dad stuff. You know, I get in the dad mode. Get to doing dad stuff. I'm always doing dad stuff, but hey, Electric Whittler. I've seen your channel before. I know you. Appreciate you being here. Oh, we're talking about chainsaw. I just got this just to show you. I just got this thing. Super proud of it. It's a knockoff of a Husqvarna 395 XP 93cc chainsaw. I'm so psyched. I feel like Tim Allen right now. I feel like tool time. I watched American Woodshop this weekend. Shout out American Woodshop. I'm coming for you. And they built a live edge dresser. Oh shoot! So I brought some. I have some live edge sassafras that I was keeping in my dad's woodshed that I would like to show here in the next couple of days. Maybe try to build something out of maybe a waterfall table. It's a little on the thin side. It's like 3/4 inch thick, so it's not super thick. If I would have it to do again, where I ordered this sassafras live edge from, I would probably order like a size up, get an inch thick at least, because I just don't trust I can't cut mortises in the bottom of a 3/4 inch thick. Yeah, I want to do the waterfall table with this sassafras, but I don't have a table saw. So getting those rip cuts on the ends of 2 of them so I can book match them is going to be tricky to get straight. So I got to figure a strategy to find a straight-ish side of one of these live edges so I can kind of book match them. Then I also have mortises cut into them because they used to be legs on a table. I had this Douglas fir table with sassafras legs, as crazy as it sounds. So they used to be the legs of a larger table. So they have some mortise cut into them. So what they need to be is they got to be like trimmed down to whatever my size of my waterfall table is going to be. I think I could probably hold these up with a 1/4 inch plexiglass if I arrange it right on the bottom. Oh, a waterfall table. I think I have a diagram drawn in here. A waterfall table the concept is you have a straight leg here. Now, usually on a standard waterfall table, which I've built before, leg, top, and then leg, and they're joined with joinery on the ends, usually either box joints or finger joints, or they're joined with dovetails. The way I did it before was in black walnut live edge with dovetails, and I did a full like waterfall. What I want this to be is a floating waterfall table. So what you have here is a leg holding a body, and I've talked about this before, being suspended by plexiglass that's routed into the bottom. So you would route out a spot, and if this is not 3/4 inch thick, then I'm going to have to do 2 parts plexiglass like in a triangle. Like I think if I do 1/4 inch, I'm going to have to be more clever about the design. The plexi holds the top of the table up, and it looks like it's floating because plexiglass is clearer than glass. If you polish it or you clean it, it'll look like the table has no support on this side. So you have a leg here, a tabletop, and then a routed in slide where you have plexiglass slid into that spot. Super cool. Google it. Look on Pinterest. One of the coolest woodworking projects you can do, but it's a little bit more than novice level because of the routing in the bottom and the joinery here. probably dimensional lumber. I could do it with pine and still make it look good, I think. What I would do is just sand the mess out of it, you know. I have made a waterfall table, but my waterfall table question was, have I made one before or first time? And I have made one before, but I have not made a floating waterfall table. The waterfall table I made before was black walnut here, top, black walnut here, and then I did a through mortise that went, a tie rod that went all the way through and was pinned on either side with a through mortise, and that provided rigidity to the structure. So leg, tabletop, leg, through thin. I used a thin piece of black walnut from a tree that I cut down, and that bar went all the way through the bottom from side to side, if that makes sense. So never a floating one. That's why I want to do it. I've only made a standard waterfall table, and I use dovetails on the ends of that. So all that cool stuff unboxed now, all the information I've learned. Thank you to Pelado. Thank you to Billy Shoemate for the information about pitch. I might have just gone forward and not done the right thing there had I not gotten that information from both Pelado and Shoemate. Pelado, sir, Miss Pelado. Pelado uses a file, is definitely a man, beard and everything. But has to do with someone I knew with that last name. You know how you have like associations. But now, Pelado uses a file. It's like Monday to me, man. So give me a break. Everybody, give me a break. Everybody. All right, let me get this piece of do what I do best, which is stuff. So last time we were working on these posts, and I was putting in blind mortises that hold two braces. What I need on this side is I need to make the cross piece, actually, which is not the hardest part of this. I just need to cut it to 42 inches, and then the mortise on each side will be an inch in depth. It will be 3/4 of an inch in width, half of a 2x4's lengthwise diameter. Like when you look at it, you know, it's not really 2 inches. We all know this, right? So what I need to do first is actually, probably I keep this aside because I need to take a 2x4 here, measure out to 42 inches, cut that 2x4. 42 inches is going to accommodate for both sides there. I think I don't want to use yellow pine on this. I'll probably use this right here as long as it's not twisted. This will work. Appreciate all those people stopping by and giving me good chainsaw information. Where'd my pencil go? It fall out of my, oh no, fell into my apron. 42 inches. Oh, good, I can get. Oh, another thing I decided was I'm going to double my braces width. It's going to be the whole width of the piece this time because I have all these laminated 2x4s sections that I won't be able to use. And so what's the point of using 2x4s? I'm going to get more strength from 2x4s than one. And I have them all laying around the shop. They're all long enough. So I don't see the sense in not using those laminated 2x4s for the braces. And since they're the width of the layout face of the opposite layout face, it's not as tricky on those ones, and I'm pointing to the other bed, the mortise was had to be placed right here. The layout face is this big, like this big. The mortise has to be placed right here, and then the other one has to be placed opposite that in the perfect spot. But if the piece takes the entire width, I don't have to worry about whether I put the mortise on the right side of the other layout face, etc. Oh yeah, we're gonna show y'all this the other bunk bed when we add the like beds to it. It's pretty much ready. We're just gonna I might actually sink some screws into that one just to get it ready, just to make it stable. So when they come here, I'm not gonna mess with more joinery on that because it's like a prototype. Now I marked my 42 inches. Let me double check that. Measure twice, cut once, because I was talking a lot. Yeah, that's 42. It's not very accurate mark though. Give myself like a 32nd of an inch there. I don't know what my triangle is. I'll use this for now. I'm going to use the outside of that mark as my guide. And I need to do this line all the way down the side because I'm going to use a handsaw to cut this. So you need a guideline the whole time. You don't want to be lazy about this. You want to do your layout mark the entire direction. I just found out today it's illegal to be homeless in 48 states, legislatively. Crazy. Basically, you cannot survive in a legal environment because you have to like have a home address and in order to get a license and all this stuff. 48 of the 50 states. Crazy, right? Thank you. This is a vintage polo shirt from the 1980s. I love this. It's my favorite shirt. I rarely wear it on here, but it's my favorite shirt. Made in the USA, bro. Back when they made polo in the USA. That takes you back. Cut for American men. Like the way that they cut shirts overseas, unfortunately, it's not really for the American man, in my opinion. I'm going to tell you, there is some staples on this end that I am concerned about cutting a mortise through. I do not want to hit those with my own chisels at all. I'm not going to ruin my chisels over some cheap board. I might move this forward and do another and do a like a couple inches forward so I don't need that in. But then I got to use my big saw, God forbid, to cut this off at the end, and it will be no hand tools again. We'll be back to doing things the new way. We like to do things the slow and old-fashioned way. They don't have shop class in high school? I just got done teaching. I thought they may have removed it from the high school where I taught. That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to flip this. I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about. Y'all see that mess right there? See that? I don't want to knock my decorations down, but y'all see those staples in there? I don't know that I'm going to get those completely out if I pull on them. So I'm not going to hazard it. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to measure from the other side. 40 inches from the other side. I'm going to put an X through this mark so I know it's not the right mark because I might actually cut it when I go back and get confused. I'm going to work from the other side here. I don't want to hit that with a saw or a chisel. I'm going to do 40, 42 and a 16th, and then I can cut on the line, really. Remember, every saw has kerf. I'm sure I'm teaching y'all. I'm not here to teach you. I'm just here to hang out. Never mind. Saw has kerf. Kerf is how much material saw takes out. So I got to account for that. Well, they don't harm the wood. They harm the tools, right? So I hit them with I try to pull them out, and I think I got them all the way out, but there's one little piece of staple in there. That one little piece of steel that's in there, that tiny little thing, is going to burr up your chisel and actually make you have to your chisels might as well be worthless because you have to go back and grind it down and create a new edge again, which is like just a lot of people would buy a new chisel in that scenario. You know, we should do this. We should get Walmart chisels on this channel since we're all about budget stuff. I should go get Walmart chisels, take the handles off, and then we build wooden handles on them, sharpen them up, and then have people do blind tests on whether the Walmart chisel is like better than a Robert Sorgan, right? If we can get it sharp enough to be better. Because I have this theory that it's not so much about the chisel you have, but it's the sharpness, you know, how sharp you get the chisel. There is different qualities of steel though, so that does make a difference. But I've had one of my favorite chisels back in the day was a Walmart chisel that I sharpened the mess out of it with sandpaper. That was my workhorse chisel. The Appalachian Wood Homestead people, they have this video they put up the other day. They're like chiseling, talking about how you do you sharpen your chisels every day or just every time you do a joint? I was like, wow, you all are type A. You sharpen your chisels that much. Harbor Freight. I know we got some Harbor Freight folks in here. My recent experiments with Harbor Freight have not resulted in great. Hey, Woodchucker, welcome. I'm gonna have to show you the saw that I just got. And then I had some input from Billy that was helpful. Let me draw these layout lines here though on this other side first because I left the side out here. Kind of a rough side. I'm gonna put this to the inside so it's not as visible to people. The outside probably can pass. Woodchucker, I gotta check out that bear with his hands in the honey. That was a cool project, man. Everybody, if you're not, sure you are, subscribe to Woodchucker's channel where he does chainsaw art. So I got this layout mark all the way around. This is 40 inches to this, I believe. Let me double check that because that does look a little bit more. No, this is 40 inches here. Yeah, 42 because I need an inch per tenon, and I added an extra 32nd in there too. All right, but before I do that, I gotta add some. Yeah, that's what I do, man. Sharpening if it doesn't feel like it's like cutting through, and if like you sharpen a chisel you don't use, you're kind of wasting time. Like if you need the chisel, of course, sharpen it. But if it's sitting up on your shelf and you've got a project to do and you sharpen 40 chisels and you use 3, which I'm going to tell you sometimes is my experience. Yeah, man, that's what we're here for, man. You always shout me out. You're a nice guy. Here's the saw, Woodchucker. This is the saw I got. It's called the Holzfforma G395 XP. This obviously is not like when you work, you've got your small setup so you don't mess your projects up. Just thought about something though, man. I got trigger finger in my right hand from squeezing the throttle of my chainsaw for 30 or 45 minutes at a time. Woodchucker, have you ever gotten trigger finger where your fingers lock, your tendons are swollen? I lost the feeling in my index finger and my thumb for about 1.5 years, and my fingers would lock out of socket. It was extremely painful, but then I stopped using the chainsaw heavily and it went away. Have you ever had that? It's called trigger finger. I almost had to go to a hand surgeon and get my my hand, like it was literally from squeezing the throttle of the chainsaw at full for 30 to 45 minutes because I was ripping through wood. And let me show you the bar too. Sorry, folks who are already here and already saw all this stuff. I got 2 different bars here with it. And remember, I told you before, you probably know because you're a chainsaw guy, it's just a dupe of a Husqvarna 395 XP. This is a Samura. Specs on this are 3/8.05. It's 58 drive links are supposed to be. I don't have a chain for this one yet. The Samura one. I think I was planning on using that as my cross-cutting bar. And I was planning on using this big bar as my rip cutting bar, which is, this is their bar that they make. And I've showed everybody already for this. It seems a little light duty for cutting through, you know, like for rip cutting. I feel like it would warp. It feels nice in my hands, but I'm going to tell you, I've seen a lot of chainsaw bars, and for the heat that's going to be generated rip cutting, I wonder if it's just a little bit like you need to get a 2-pack. Probably, honestly, when you have saws and you rip cut with them, now you probably need to get a 2-pack. How many drive links on the chain that goes with this bar? It's 114 drive links. 36-inch bar, 114 drive links on that one. Oh yeah, Billy liked the bars. Yeah, I need approval from you guys. Even if you didn't like them, I would, you know, I could still review them. And even if I tended to not like them, it'd be good to know how they do. I used to like Forester bars and Oregon bars, but this time I was going more for like, what could I get in the cheaper price range? Yeah, it's that other one was a 36-inch bar. This is a 24-inch bar. This one I planned on doing cross cutting with. I mean, I need some width, but I don't need 36 inches of length on cross cutting. I don't cut down trees that size usually. Yeah. I got to do some lumberjacking in my dad's woods. There's some standing dead trees out there. That's what I'm going to mill. There's some short leaf pines in there that I want to mill and make into boards that'll be ready and dry, like we were discussing the other day. Skip tooth chain. I had that. I think I wrote that down on my little paper I was just reading. Full skip or something. Yeah. I don't think it's the right chain for ripping. Here it is. He said, can you show me the chain up close? Absolutely. I don't know how do you undo these things so they're let me undo the chain. I don't know how to do this, man. There's like a trick to getting these things, and it's just common sense, but sometimes I'm really stupid and need help. For all the complex stuff I do, sometimes I lack the common sense I should have. I'm getting it now. I wonder if that's close enough for you to see. Yeah, it's tricky, man, because you put one loop in it, take out a loop. It's like you got to just finesse it, and I've got two now here. This brings back so many memories, dude. I used to use chainsaws for everything. And actually, without ever taking the time to learn enough about it to make it to do it the right way too. I actually burned a Husqvarna chainsaw out. Shout out Husqvarna. Rip cutting logs and then claimed the the warranty on it because they didn't say you couldn't rip cut. All they said was, you know, if the motor gets blown out or whatever. Ooh, that caught me. That was sharp. Give me your feedback on that. You're right, like a ripping chain. You said full skip, right? Nah, it's not, man. I don't think it is either. Look at all the teeth in it. There's no skips. It's full chisel, but Billy Shoemate told me chisel doesn't matter. It has to be the right skip. Let me get my paper back out I just had a minute ago and bounce off the specs off you real quick, Caleb. Here's what I had written down 3 years ago. Forester ripping saw chain 3/8 .063 fits with this. And also they said 115 drive links, semi chisel. Well, if you're getting a 42-inch bar, you can do 135 drive links, but this one was the one that I remember. It was a Forester ripping chain 3/8 .063. And the other one I had written was Hyper Skip ripping chain 0.404. And I have a note, stick with standard 3/8 pitch. So Hyper Skip ripping chain or full skip ripping chain, right? That's what I'm looking for, right? I mean, I'll keep that chain. That's what happens. I'm not going to really return that one. You could probably remove saw links from it, right? Chardonnay. Tardy, but I'm sure it's excused because Chardonnay always, Chardonnay is not going to come unexcused like maybe a Ruiz or a Ruiz. Raja, welcome. Raja Bindi Gohana. Appreciate you being here. Raja just hit a milestone on his YouTube channel. So check out his channel. He's doing really well. Welcome everyone. Appreciate everyone being here. Right now, I've measured this to 40 inches. So yeah, man, I'm gonna get with you. I'm gonna email you, Caleb, if you're still there, and I'll ask you specifically. Kind of sucks that I paid for this chain, but I think I can use the bar, right? So all I need to do is get a 36-inch ripping chain, which should have the teeth as Billy said, the teeth should be ground to 12 degrees. So that's the key, right? I'm going to go on the outside this way of this mark. Hopefully I'm zoomed in properly here so everybody can see. Okay. Yeah, man, I'll be on there. I don't know are you doing one today? I'm just a touch outside that line, but that's okay. First saw cut of the week. I might continue on with my other saw though. Not a super straight line, but I'm pretty good with those things, man. I could saw my own finger off almost fast enough for me not to feel it. And that's not a lie and an exaggeration. I actually did that. I almost sawed my finger off completely and only felt it at the last second. Yeah, kind of a little bit of a flex. Flex. I got some other flexes too. I was talking to my dad about the reason I got the scar on my forehead right here. Super proud of that scar. It hurt when I got it. I'm super proud of it. Let me measure this, make sure this looks a little bit short here. No, that's right. All right, that's almost at the right. It is at the right measurement. So let me bring this in. We're building this is a through mortise, or no, excuse me, a blind mortise. That's the cut side. It's not great straight reference face there, but we're gonna use it anyways. I'm not that worried. I can square it off a little, and I gave myself a little bit of tolerance or a little bit of leeway there. Let me do that other side too while I got it here. Try to position it where you can kind of see me on both sides. Yeah, I'm gonna use this chain then because I didn't get another chain. I think I was probably, I think when I opened this, I said this doesn't. I don't think I got the ripping chain here. Like I don't remember getting it. I have to be careful when I get that. It has to be exactly the right thing. So I am definitely preoccupied with it. I want to get the right thing, and I want to use it right away. But I also have to cut this tree apart in my yard. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, folks, where we build rustic style furniture and elegant furniture with dimensional lumber and whatever materials we can find. We don't always buy the expensive stuff. That American woodshop this weekend, he was building a live edge bookshelf. And like most of the bookshelf was made out of MDF. I was like, man, like what is it with old school woodworkers always using MDF for everything? Like that's particle board, in case you don't know what that is. It was like mostly particle board and then a pegboard on the side. I was like, man, I feel like this is just laziness. Like the craftsmanship that you would have seen from these guys' dad's generation, it's like it got industrialized away. Like my great grandfather's tools I have, but then my dad's gonna prefer to make something out of whatever is easiest. Oh, Raja, appreciate you. See you later. Yeah, it's I mean, chainsaw carving is something, you know, I've been aware of that for a long time. It's been I've always saw that within the realm of art. It's cool that you grabbed that niche, man. I like to use my chainsaw to do all kinds of stuff. I got really good with my chainsaw in a basic way, nothing like what you do. Like you have it down to a, you know, finesse. But I really fancy myself pretty good with my chainsaw, nothing like what you do. I would cut, and whenever people would call me over, I always had 2 chainsaws at all times. I would actually stress if one of my chainsaws went out because I like to always have a backup all the time. And then when someone give me an opportunity to take a tree, like they say, take this walnut tree, I would have my saw ready. I saw this 400-year-old tree go down like 15 years ago, and they cut it into all these pieces, and it broke my heart. And so I started. That was really what started my in earnest my woodworking. Watching them cut this beautiful tree down and turn it into firewood killed me. It's a connection with nature, you know. It's like anytime you are with in nature or with animals or working on a natural material, working with natural materials, it's a connection with nature. You know, it's you're in your life, like there's important things for your fulfillment, and one of those is and this is not even corny. This is just how it is. Like anyone can say this is you know, this is effeminate or whatever they want to say. I don't really care. I'm a hippie for saying it's not hippiness. In your life, there are certain things that are going to give you fulfillment, and that's your oneness with your world, right? Not nature, but your world, the people around you, the world. And then your connection with hold on here. It's a little shy, isn't it? Sorry. Should be 3/4 of an inch. Connection with self, connection with the world, connection with nature, right? Also, I could probably add into that connection with family, which would be pretty much the equal or not, if not more important to all those things. But if you read, there's a book by this Holocaust survivor, his name is escaping me right now, the most famous book. It's not even about the Holocaust. He was a psychoanalyst before World War II. See, that's not halfway. I don't feel like that's halfway. It should be 1.5 right here, but it's like short of 1.5. And so now I'm in a spot where I gotta I got to figure out how to get 3/4 off of this thing. I know what I'm going to do. Let me bust out one. Oh, Chardonnay. I got to open up her box. Yeah, Caleb is really, he's good at what he does, man. All right, let me get one of these little split in halfy things. Maybe I can get that pencil lead through here. This is going to find the center of this point right here, and then I can draw from there. I need the center. That doesn't. It's better than over there. It's that little tool I just used. One of the viewers bought that for me, and you guys are gonna have to forgive me. Which one of my my besties got this for me? Daniel, Gandara, Ruiz, or Chardonnay. But this is a little clever tool that you can find the center of a piece of wood, especially dimensional. Probably wouldn't work on live edge and stuff like that, but Chardonnay, there should be two, maybe. Well, maybe there's one still coming, unless one of the things I already opened, and I don't think it is. I haven't gotten it yet. Then Chardonnay. I have the one thing. I'm going to open that in a second. Here, let me get that out. Sorry for hitting the microphone again, guys. So Chardonnay is helping the show out all the time. Wanted to open up this thing from Chardonnay. It's never been opened before. We're not using it right now or anything. What do we got in here? Oh, look at that. It's a Wi-Fi extender with the brand name covered up already. So they have to pay us to show the brand name. Look how convenient that is. They sent it in the box with the brand name covered up. Isn't that awesome? And the brand name right here. Isn't that awesome how they did that, Chardonnay? They put tape over the brand name so that we wouldn't show stuff on our channel for free. Isn't that awesome? Shout out to all the sponsors. I'm coming for you, American Woodshop. I'm coming for y'all with that, whatever you call that thing you build on American Woodshop this weekend. Make a big money too. They're about to lose their PBS grant though. That's not a good thing though. I love American Woodshop too. I love those shows on PBS, but nothing I can do about that situation. Chardonnay got us an extender. Using the Wi-Fi extender. Ah, okay, great. Sounds good. I love that. Creativity and gifting. You like that here. I got to decide which side of these are going to be, which side. This is kind of off of 3/4, but the thing is not quite 3/4 wide. I'm going to make this the mortise side, or I'm going to make, yeah, the small side the mortise. Yeah, because then I don't have to remove as much material. It's close enough. This side right here will be cut back all the way. So this will be waste. This will be waste, like you see on those really super fast, fancy woodworking videos when they do this. That'll be waste. This will be the tenon. We'll do the same thing. We got to make sure those match up on the other side too. That is going to be on this side, the waste side. Put this on here. Make sure I find the middle of this. I don't like that. There we go. All right. Now I got that basic like guideline right there. Now I can lay out these other lines. Let me twist the vise and see if I can do this a little bit more for the camera. Kind of tricky to draw at this angle here. Yeah, I think my niche woodchucker is like, and I don't know if I'm dialed in. I'm not dialed in like yet, I don't think, but I think like rustic furniture, construction, real time, or I don't know if the ASMR thing is going to really pass eventually. People are going to realize that I talk too much. I don't like that. I got to fix this here. It should be exactly at 3/4, but it doesn't seem right. So I'm going to take this line and just connect it down here. Definitely this 2x4 seems a little strangely like, it's because of the like bark on this side probably, so it's irregular. But that's, I mean, it's strange with me marking it at 3/4. It should be two of those, basically split in half at 3/4, no problem. But as long as the fat side's the same on both sides, yeah, right? So the fat side's here, and that's the waist side. So just to show you what I did there, to show where my waist is right here. This is waist. I'm scribbling on that. Real simple joinery here because it's just a tenon and then it fits between two posts, and they kind of have some tension between them. Always mismatched socks. I got SpongeBob on one sock today and Christmas Squidward on the other. It's Christmas all year for me. All right, so let me just checking what time it was right there. Not that I'm worried about it. It's actually a good saw, bro. I didn't mark here. Now, easy way to do this here is to do this a couple times. This one doesn't need to be straight really, so I'm not worried about that. And then because I want to make sure these come cleanly off and don't blow out down here, I'll go through and make a stop cut. But let me do the same thing on the other side too. Maybe I zoom in for this, but not too much. Oh yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna, everything I was telling them earlier, woodchucker, I was telling them I once, whatever I do with this chainsaw that involves like a ripping chain is gonna be video documented, you know? All right, steady, steady, steady. All right, still let me zoom out though. That's nice, right? I know you all are paranoid about zooming, but sometimes you got to gamble a little bit. Yeah, I know it sticks sometimes, doesn't it? I'll make sure my layout marks are on here. I don't have one on this side. We're getting there. Yeah, I think it may have been a bug they fixed, or it just is only sometimes that happens, but it has happened to us too. Here we go. seems a little shy on that side, but that's all right. I can cut that cheek, or whatever you want to call that. It's really like a shoulder. And as I did before, we take one more out just so it's easier. Take the waste out. Oh, really? So I have this plexiglass that hangs from the ceiling that I can actually hang up to do something like that. I took it down because it was kind of in the way of my my bench, but I used it to do some time lapses when I poured concrete and stuff like that. But definitely, I've thought of that, just haven't done it in a while. Yeah. Alrighty. This chisel probably does need a sharpening. I might use a little bit smaller chisel here, but to start here, I'm going to use it. Just probably the light mallet too. We're going to put some stop cuts in here so we don't blow out past our line here. And it may take a chunk out when we do this. Sometimes it does. And I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side, I think. Because if I don't, I'll get to that side and start chiseling. Hopefully that's about right because I have it zoomed in. So if it's not, it's going to be super obvious. See if it's on there still. Let me see. Yep, that's gonna, looks like it's gonna be okay because it's behind me a little bit, not live. This side here is gonna keep from getting blowout. We're not gonna lose more support wood than we want. This is just due diligence and proper preparation and all of that. All right, we'll go ahead and start with this side, removing the waste. Use a smaller chisel. Remember, you know, force applied to a smaller surface area is going to be equal more force of impact. So I sometimes take part of the top out first like that, then go after the bottom and pare it down. It's kind of like when you see guys doing with their circular saws running over these, they leave a tiny bit of tolerance over the cut line and then come back and pare away the waste. Basic technique is all this is. This is not super complicated stuff. Ooh, I just went a little, that was not super clean cut right there. It's all right. Like a Monday for me. All right, take all that off like doing this. And go over it again and get that that cheek, right? And the best thing to use for that would be one of these smaller, more pointy chisels. And what I'm noticing here is there's a little more on this side of this. I would call that a cheek, really is what it is. Not really. This is the shoulder. This is the cheek of the mortise, or the tenon, excuse me, the cheek of the tenon. All right. Robert G, welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you. Always love having Robert G in. Usually calmly and stokely provides with stokely, if that's a word, provides us with input. You know, you get a little bit. I can pick his brain a tiny bit every live stream. Drops a gem usually. Oops. So I've already done my little stop cuts here, as long as I put this in the right place. Make sure it's in the right place. Got to wait for the video feed to catch up. I think so. See if that helps. I had to. See if that works. Does that work for you? Now this line here is where I found the center. I wanted to find it over here. So really ignore that. It's not like I'm going to cut it that far. It's really coming to here. And you can see on this, this is a shoulder. The shoulder is kind of cut. That maybe my layout line is wrong there, because I want to say that doesn't match up. We'll double check. I can always take more off. I can't add any. So, all right, let's knock this stuff off now. Last time I went ahead and started with the small chisels. I might actually start with this medium sized one today. Were you? I watched American Wood Shop this weekend, and I actually liked their shop. They had several huge wood vices on there, which were nice. And all they left wood chips on the floor, which like totally, you know, takes me here. I like the way they do that. Like, the shop is supposed to be a little dirty, man. It's too clean. They used to have this show on Saturday Night Live. Phil Hartman played the anal retentive carpenter, where when he takes one scrap of wood, he would take it and put it in a plastic bag and bag it in a piece of paper. Everything in his shop was like, he never had a mess. Every time he did something, it was like he responded by overly cleaning up after it. The anal retentive carpenter. And I know why they made that bit, because they're like, all the wood shops on PBS and stuff back then were the guys were so anal, super organized left brain types. I want to take about half of it first there. I need the mallet. So how the wood vise look? You got to take. Robert G, you're on my Discord. Take a picture of the wood vise and put it out. It's not gonna look like this one. This is kind of like a metalworking vise, but it works really well for the live, because I can set the piece up really high and work it in front of the camera easily. Show us a picture of that woodworking vise on Discord if you're on there, Robert G. I think you are on there. I'm not going to pair the shoulder. You all can probably see that pencil mark is not met by where I'm cut to there. I'm not going to meet that line. It's not right. So get the shoulder here, then the cheek straight. Thank you, Woodchucker. I really appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I try to make sure my tools are sharp enough they don't push the vise around either. That's the other thing. Like, if my tools are sharp enough, it doesn't resist a lot. It's like a hot knife through butter. And since I'm looking at this, what do we call this? This would be the shoulder, not the chest. This would be the cheek of the tenon. This would be the shoulder. If I'm correct here, I want to take this. I'm looking at some uneven stuff here. You want to make sure that you're really square in there where it meets. And even on the cheek here, it looks a little bit uneven. This is where you would use a shoulder plane if that's like your thing. I don't use the shoulder plane very much. I don't want to go against the grain like that with a plane and sharpen a plane for such a small thing when I feel like I can use a chisel for it. A lot of tools in woodworking, they're kind of redundant. You've got other tools that can do the same thing, you know, and it's just which one you prefer to use. It's like in golf, I saw a video with Rory McIlroy hitting a 300-yard drive with a putter, you know. More than one way to skin a cat. No offense to the kitties that I got inside. Love you. Ooh, that was nice and straight right there, though. Now, like I said, these boards are actually uneven with bark on one side of them. Really low quality. That's what we do in here. We build nice things out of low quality lumber. All right, cheeks and mortise is cut. I mean, it's okay because they're gonna need to be pared down most likely. But I do have the two posts. Now, I don't know if I can set these up by myself, but I can try them in the vise. Chances are they won't fit because you cut them a little small to start. And let me move the camera back too. All right, so like you all saw the other side, let's see if this fits here. That looks a little bit loose, actually. I'm looking at it to judge it. Nah, it's gonna be fine. Look at that, tight. That's how I want it because it's not putting pressure on it. That's like maybe one of the only times I've ever cut the joint perfectly. Unfortunately, I did cut it wrong so that the ugly faces out, but I can sand that down and get rid of the kind of funky, ugly wood there to a certain extent. But yeah, I wanted the kind of pretty face out, and so I did make one mistake. But if the mortise fits well, I'm not even worried about it because the whole idea is to make this ugly lumber look good by design, you know? So we got that one in, and I think probably I'll try the other one also. We'll call this X. So I don't try this 10-in on in the wrong mortise. That's in there tight though. Fitting is good on that. And then the other post, we'll try the other side of it in. Then the key is, does it line up? You know, it should. When I would cut these mortises, I was super careful about orientation and layout, where the layout was and where it was from. Like I measured from the bottom to the layout face on everything. And that's kind of important. That's the X side. So this is the Y side. That looks less than ideal, but this one needs to be worked a little. Look how there's a big gap there. It's because this mortise is not deep enough. So probably just didn't drill this. Probably the last thing I did on that. And there's a lot of knots in here. I'm looking at them. I must have struggled with those knots. I'm not going to use the drill again because I'll take too much out. See, so that's why it's kind of a pain here. But you have to do it the gradual way here. You don't want to. You don't want to take a power tool and then take too much out and regret it. Though actually in this application, a little more material probably wouldn't hurt you, because the mortise is only going to go into where the tenon stops, or the tenon is only going to go in as far as an inch. But you don't want to remove structural wood from a piece if you know, for no reason. So you don't want to cut mortises in. Oh, it's bigger, but I can fit the mortise and fit the tenon in there. No, because you don't want to remove structural wood. Like, the wood is important for a reason. Just pinched myself with that. That hurt. All right. So tenon, mortise. I'm not going to cut the tenon down, because then I might end up with a length issue. I want the shoulder to sit against it. So I will cut the mortise more. Not today though, because we've been on for a long time. And it's probably about that time to roll out. That's right, man. Slow and steady wins the race. And that's what this channel is all about. Slow and steady. And as you told your viewers last time, I do things a little slow, but that's really the way this is. It doesn't, we're not in the wood shop going zip, 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 and put it together. That's not how woodwork works. It's fun to look at it on YouTube like that, right? But if we're realistic, that's not how woodwork is. I can't go and made it. I know that's pretty and all that, cute, but that's not how it really works. You like my fast forward, like my 1.5 speed simulation. That's why I have 25 subscribers, y'all, because I'm funny. That's why I'm killing it. Love y'all. Caleb, Woodchucker, Pelado, Billy, Daniel, Diego, Robert G. Who else? Chardonnay, of course. But, you know, I have to say you later because you came in later. Raja Bindi Gohana. Big shout out. Just bit my lip again. Ow. That's what I feel like every time I bite my lip. Sorry. Oh, everybody, I just bit my lip. Feel sorry for me. Oh my gosh, it hurts. It does, you know? It hurts. Daniel his check. Let me give Daniel his check. Hold on. Check for Daniel. Now, for real though, these guys deserve real checks. Like, this should be engraved and with a. If I had money, I would pay all these folks. Daniel came in here, man. He's taking care of stuff, man. Like a boss. Oh, yeah. Nah, right there. He's crushing everybody. He's crushing everybody. Woodchucker. Oh, hold on, Woodchucker. You got to be first in class. So I got you category. And I want, if I get in first years, I want to check too. So I need you to have a attendance sheet in your live stream too. Everybody, I love all y'all, man. Thank you for making my life a little bit happier and a little more fun, you know, and a little more interesting, and making me feel a little bit of hope. Enjoy my day a little more. And I hope I helped, you know, and you all enjoyed my company like I enjoyed yours. I really do. I appreciate all of you coming and hanging out. And I hope I shouted you out good enough. Hopefully I will see you all tomorrow and Thursday. Well, we just take it, you know, one day at a time. So tomorrow. And I love y'all. Give somebody a hug. Do the next right thing. And I'll see y'all later.